On the surface, democratic elections in the United States appear to be fair and impartial, with one person, one vote, and free choice of candidates to determine the future of the country. But in reality, money is the real player in the game, and the rich are not only the bosses in the audience, but also the hidden hands behind the game. To win the game, you have to have enough money to throw yourself into the game. Imagine that the US presidential election is like a hit variety show. You think those are the presidential candidates on that stage? No, the real players are the big money behind the scenes, especially the super rich. The candidates' campaign funds come almost entirely from these wealthy investors. After all, where are ads, rallies, and campaigns free? You don't have enough money. You can't even make a decent video. Who knew you were running? Take Elon Musk, for example. Not only does he have wealth, but he also controls social media platforms like X, Twitter, and has enormous influence. This time, he directly intervened in the US election, publicly said, "Sign a petition, sign it, and you may take $1 million. Where plutocrats used to hide election interference, Musk has moved to the streets to do it openly. His social platform can quickly spread this information, influencing the opinions and behavior of millions of users, and the rich's game has moved from behind the scenes to the stage. The rule of American elections is simple. Whoever has the money has the voice. The plutocrats have long been behind the scenes. Previously, they quietly donated money, sponsored candidates, and formed various super PACs to indirectly influence voters through these channels. However, in practice, these super sponsors in the background to help how much? Everyone knows. But Musk apparently didn't find those formulas straightforward enough. He decided to make things simple and crude. Send money directly to voters. Just sign a petition, and you could get $1 million. In this way, Musk is not only the financial father behind the candidate, but also the god of wealth of the whole people. He has successfully upgraded the plutocrats' control of elections, from behind the scenes to front office operations. Such public distribution of money makes the influence of the rich and the election more naked. We all know that elections are a rich man's game, but at least it used to be a little hidden. Now what? Musk simply turned the rich show into a national money party. In fact, American elections have long been about money. No money, then you don't want to be in the press. Campaign ads, rallies, research, and all kinds of targeted marketing to voters all cost money. The 2020 US presidential election will cost more than $14 billion, making it the most expensive election in history. Most of this money comes from donations from a small number of super rich people and large corporations. The plutocrats are quietly supporting all this, so that the candidate they like can get into office. As a result, the presidential candidate, who should have been decided by the voters, has in fact been decided by the super rich through the money election. If you had a chance to win $1 million, would you sign a petition? Whether you're interested in politics or not, who could resist a windfall like that? The willingness of these money-motivated voters to participate is apparently based less on support for a candidate and more on the lure of wealth. This is a classic rendition of money talks. Elections are, by their very nature, the embodiment of democracy. The moment when citizens cast a sacred vote for the future of their country. And now, it is more like a plutocrat's game. Ordinary voters are turned into wealth seekers, and the spirit of democracy is gradually tainted by the influence of money. Even more frightening, that Musk's operation may have made a bad start. If one super rich person can openly use money to influence elections, what about other super rich people? The United States has no shortage of billionaires like Musk, like Bezos, Soros. They also have a lot of money to play in politics. It's like a race that's getting out of control. And the plutocrats are no longer content to quietly pull the strings behind their backs. They want to throw money in front of voters. As it goes, American elections will increasingly look like a game designed for the super rich, with ordinary voters as pawns. The fairness and representativeness of elections will be greatly amplified by money, while real political ideas and policy discussions will gradually be obscured by the struggle over wealth. The United States presents itself as the world's greatest democracy. But how long can this mask of democracy last when plutocrats openly talk with money? Real power has already slipped away from the voters and into the hands of the few who hold great wealth. Musk's behavior is not unique. Look at the 2020 election. Michael Bloomberg spent more than $1 billion to support his campaign. Although the result was unsuccessful, but his huge investment undoubtedly influenced the attention of voters. And George Soros has also influenced policies and candidates through huge donations, which shows the tip of the plutocracy iceberg behind the entire electoral system. The US presidential election, ostensibly a democratic feast for all, is in fact becoming an arena for a few plutocrats. In order for a candidate to win, he first needs to be certified by the super-rich, without whose financial support it is almost impossible to run a campaign. The vast wealth of the rich allows them not only to influence the election process, but also to control the direction of public opinion by establishing media and social platforms, so that the voice of ordinary voters is gradually drowned in the frenzy of advertising and money. Musk's actions have certainly heightened concerns about this phenomenon. When elections become a game of money, plutocrats no longer need to engage in complicated political maneuvers to achieve their ends. They can simply buy tickets and influence the outcome of the election in the simplest and most crude way. And voters increasingly look like they are watching a plutocracy reality show, their voting intentions clouded by the aura of wealth. The glorious image of the US presidential election has now lost its former luster at the hands of the plutocrats. Musk's move merely pushes plutocrats' control of elections from behind the scenes to the foreground. He shows us that the so-called democratic election is no longer a pure fair competition, but a game controlled by a few people with huge wealth. Voters may still be campaigning for an ideal democracy, but in this plutocratic era, he who controls the money controls the rules of the game. In the end, America's brand of democracy may just be a carefully packaged show of wealth.